Hello everybody, hello. Sorry, we'll be starting in just a couple seconds. I'm just getting my audio levels right. Finally back at my house. That down there. But I see some familiar faces. Hello Jamie, hello Aflad, hello Jack, hello Nestor, Hotel California, hello Ryan, hello. Hope everyone's having a great night. Diva Kitty, hello. Dan. I've killed Dan. This is Rick. Oh my god. Playing on with that. Chad, hello. Flamboyant Pickle, glad to see you back. Hello, Maria. How's it going? Hello, everyone. Sorry. And welcome to my bedroom here. This is the first time that I'm streaming from this location here. Normally, I have a little bit more of a planned stream, especially for Tuesday nights, but because I've been so busy lately, which I'll update you on what's going on and what's to come, I just figured I'd want to have like a nice in-night just chatting. But I do a lot of gaming. I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually went to school for computer science. I do some programming stuff where I play video games with AI. If you've seen any of the other content on our channel, the Bevo channel here, I do like, for example, playing like Pajama Sam. I don't know if anyone here watches a channel called Doug. He did a series where he used AI to beat the childhood game Pajama Sam. So I kind of replicated that. I also made a program that allowed YouTube chat to control one of my games. So it was like YouTube chat plays. We were trying to get like a Fortnite victory royale. And I'm also testing out ultra low latency on this stream. So I'll be hopefully able to respond to you guys in relatively real time for some future projects that I'm working on where I want to get more engaged with chat and stuff. And I'll be talking with you guys a bit more about that throughout the course of the stream. It's probably going to be a bit of a shorter stream. I wasn't really prepared. I didn't have too much time to prepare, so kind of scary, but we'll get into it together. Nancy, hello bedroom. I'm glad you're saying hello to my bedroom. I have my nice, my dresser's a mess right now, but I have my my Cottage Cup trophy, my little neon flamingo light for those of you who haven't seen this scene before. But I have below here my links to all my socials. I'm still figuring out shorts. I haven't really quite got the short algorithm down, but I'm working on it. I like the mustache, Dan said. Like I said, I have no time to like pretty much prepare at all for this for these streams. That's why Thursday I'm gonna be doing throughout the month of October. I want to start doing some Halloween-esque streaming and games and stuff. I want to do, if you guys have ever heard of Phasmophobia, have some friends, maybe do some open lobbies, some horror stuff like that. Vlad says, live from the Boom Boom in Atlantic City, bring out the grannies. Please, God, no. For those of you who don't know, Dan and I were just on a road trip for the past, it was like about 2 weeks. We talk about it. Jackson making fun of my accent. But I don't have a porn stash, FRS. What are you talking about? My mods are turning on me here. But for the past 2 weeks, Dan and I have been on the road. We hit up a bunch of different areas. We went to Camden, New Jersey. We went to where else in New Jersey? We went to 2 different spots in New Jersey. Actually a couple different spots. We went to Kensington, Philadelphia, around that area. Got some Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, which were delicious. And where else did we go? We did Baltimore, and yeah, it was just a really busy road trip. I haven't had time. Oh, in Atlantic City. I haven't had a lot of time to really like think or decompress. I've been offloading footage and getting some stuff ready for the future because this October I just got back on Monday, and then on Friday I'm flying out. If any of you guys know Jake from Bright Sun Films here, I'm working on a documentary with him. This is his 3rd shoot, my 2nd shoot with this doc. I can't say too much on the project yet, but I'm sure on his socials he's going to be like announcing stuff as we go along. But I fly out on Friday, and then I'm back on the 18th, and then I stay home for about a week, and then on the 23rd I'm flying right back out to visit my friend in Virginia for Halloween. But needless to say, on this channel we do stream every Tuesday and Thursday. The only stream I'm going to be missing this month, with luck provided, is this next Tuesday, because I'm going to be in Missouri, is where we're filming this documentary. But yeah, Las Vegas next, Dan says. Dan and I are also working on a Las Vegas trip, hopefully sometime in late December, if not in the new year. We're still working out the logistics of it, but there's lots to film around there, and we're very excited for that. Like I said, it's probably going to be a bit of a shorter stream, maybe 2 hours, sub 2 hours, but I just wanted to essentially talk about this channel and where we're gonna try and go from here. But I have laid out like a basically a brief schedule. I'm hoping that, like I said, next week we start doing some Halloween style streams with some horror games. And if you have any games, you can also suggest them to me. I'm always open to suggestions. And what's it called? Just finding new games and discovering new games, because I'm a bit of a gamer nerd, if you guys didn't know that. I'll also open up Q&A here. Just give me 1 second. And I'll be answering some of your guys' questions as we go along. But I want to first talk about what we'll be doing for the rest of the stream. So like I said, the Tuesday of next week, I will not be streaming, unfortunately. The 17th, I'm hoping to do either Outlast 2, because you guys really liked the Outlast horror series, because like I said, for Halloween or for the month of October, I want to start doing some creative stuff in the form of horror. But I want to do like hook my heartbeat sensor up, so you guys can have like a live display on heartbeat sensor. And I want to do like potentially every time my heartbeat gets over a certain rate, do like a jello shot or some sort of forfeit. That could be fun like that. I've been working on like a little bit of a software that will cast that to like a HUD, so you guys will see like my heart rate in the bottom. But that I'll spare the nerdy details for later. I also want to finish, if you guys have ever seen my Luigi's Mansion series that I did, where my friends would break into my room dressed as ghosts and beat me with various objects, or steal my my items in my room, or just mess with me while I was trying to speedrun Luigi's Mansion. I got to work on that. I want to finish part 2, because we're only halfway through the game, and I'm not one to back away from a challenge, so we got to do that for sure. What about pumpkin pie? Ryan says. I don't know. Maybe we can cook some pumpkin pie on the cooking stream here, because you guys definitely liked the cooking with AI. I had like my family recipes. For those of you who tuned in, for those of you who missed it, I got Chef Guy Fieri, AI Guy Fieri, to completely mangle my family recipes. And oh, Dan said, I don't have a landing strip. This is not a landing strip. Landing strip's down there. This is just me being lazy and unable to shave and be hygienic right now. But I'm already getting bullied here first couple minutes into the stream. But yeah, so I want to do a cooking stream with stuff like that. I want to, in the 24th, I'm going to be in Virginia. So I'm going to be doing probably another one of these, like face-to-face interacting with chat, and just kind of maybe roaming about. But I also want to do that week like an outdoor hiking. I have some hiking trails I want to go to, and potentially I'm gonna try and scout out a stealth camping spot that I really like. It's like on the coast. It's I've been to it only once. I'm not sure what the service is like, so I gotta go and like sort of check it out in advance and see if I can get enough signal to do a live stream out there. But if so, I want to do like a live stream where I set up, cook, and then like before bed kind of just explain what's going on, show off the spot, show off the stars, because you can see, if the night's clear, you can actually see the Milky Way galaxy from that spot, which is really cool. And for those of you who don't know, also there's I think it's like some sort of solar flare happened for this weekend, bleeding into some of this week. So I'm not sure where you guys live, but around my area here, you can actually see parts of the northern lights tonight. So if you guys are in the GTA, or I think it also goes all the way down as far as almost Wisconsin can see it, but there is actually potential to see the Northern Lights in your city. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do some hitchhiking, Hank, but I will definitely be doing some stealth camping. I have a spot picked out, and I want to try and do a stream where I show you guys some equipment, my setup, kind of like how I do some stealth camping. And it'll kind of be like, if you guys follow my Uncharted Travel channel and you know the Alone series, it'll kind of be like something like that, but a little more laid back, of me just like sitting in front of the fire, talking, showing off the spot, not necessarily running from coyotes, I hope, or running from security, I hope, because it's a little bit more of a secluded spot out in the middle of nowhere. I also do want to try my hand at doing a 24-hour stream. I'm either going to save that for November, or maybe like a 2,000 subscriber special, something like that. Nancy, sub B, a new B. Is that saying you subscribed, or is that saying you, or is that some sort of gibberish, some sort of code for me to decrypt? But yeah, I've been busy. I got home Monday night, drove my 24-hour camping trip. I don't know if I can manage that FRS, but I'll try my best. I don't know if the service would be good for that. Right now I'm on Wi-Fi. I feel like my internet phone bill would be crazy, because if you don't know, in Canada we don't have unlimited internet plans here, so it's kind of limited as to what I can do outside of my home in terms of endurance streaming. New sub from Wisconsin. Well, welcome to the family, Faye. I'm very glad that you want to take your time to join this crazy new community. Also, if you guys do have Discord, or if you know what Discord is, we have our Discord community in the link in the description below, where we will be I talk in there regularly. We'll have some game nights in there too, and it's just a fun place to hang out. Some people share photos of their trips, where they're going. I like seeing what everyone's up to, you know. I care about you guys. I want to stay up to date and stay in the loop, see what you guys are doing and saying and stuff like that. But I also, in November, this is coming in November, so the 24-hour stream will probably happen sometime in November, or if we hit 2,000 subscribers, whatever comes first. I'm not really rushing it, but I definitely have some plans as to what I want to do for that. But I also want to do a D&D stream, and I'm kind of ripping off the idea again from a very popular streamer named Doug. But basically what happens is chat will be the characters, and I'll be like the dungeon master, for those of you who know or have played D&D, very old school sort of like game. But I have I've worked a program where I can take users' chats and have like voice to text underneath like their character, and we'll just sub out as we go through the campaign with like random people. So you guys will have like a voice, and you'll be able to make decisions. I'll ask you guys what you need to do, and I'll probably have like 3 people that will be working together, and we'll just like rotate out so everyone can, or a lot of people can have some sort of a chance. But yeah, I'm excited to roll out some ideas with that, and I just wanted to talk about that project, because I know there's been some people asking for like D&D streams. Angela D says, any plans to do anything with Carlo, Ethan, etc.? I've been talking to Carlo. For those of you who don't know, they're like Urbex guys, kind of in Ontario, around here. But I've been talking to them, and I definitely want to do some more urban exploring. Dan and I got up to some urban exploring down in New Jersey. We have a very creepy video. Dan will be releasing a very spooky video for Halloween. We were exploring essentially this abandoned prison in Newark, and Mary, I'm not growing a beard, I swear. This is just me on the road, and I haven't had time to shave, but this is the extent of what I can grow facial hair wise. I can grow a little bit of mustache, a little bit of goatee, a little bit of neck beard, and then my friends call my sideburns chop suey, because they're just so spaced out and weird looking. I'm a very shameful Italian man where I don't have much facial hair, unfortunately. But that's the way it goes. I do not live alone, Nancy. I have 2 tenants upstairs that live upstairs from me, and they're my friend and his girlfriend from university, and they're very sweet people. I think they're home right now, I don't know, but I basically built this out to be like its own separate basement unit. And this is just like my bedroom / office area where I do most of my freelance work, streaming, gaming, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I also want to do so there's a lot of people in here that were requesting like some sort of board game stream. I just have to figure out logistics for that, because I have, for those of you who don't know, I don't know if you can make out in the background there, but there's a board game of Munchkins. Where is it? Right there. It's just like I have a very expansive board game collection, and I myself am a very big board game nerd. But Rob, you can grow a full beard in 6 hours. Oh my god. Well, you're very fortunate. For me, luckily shaving takes like 10 seconds for me. I just get the electric razor and just, it's all gone. But this is like 2 weeks. It'll grow out fast to like this point, and then it just stops. Like this is like probably like 3 weeks, two to 3 weeks of me growing. But yeah, so a board game stream. Sorry, I get distracted very easily. Board game stream. And I'm actually working on my own board game that I've been developing for like a couple years, just for fun, as like a little side project. But I'll talk more about that as we get into those sort of streams. But those are some things that I'm looking forward to for November, along with doing some more stuff with AI plays, like we did the last stream before I went away with Dan. We did AI plays, like escape room simulator. And basically what happened with that was I was playing through the game, and I described the scenario to my AI bot, and then in real time it was able to relay back to me sort of how it would solve the puzzles or what it would do. And we were just kind of like, it for some reason got really addicted to drugs and was only motivated by drugs, because I had essentially for its prompts, or the way I coded its personality, all I said was just like, lean into your jokes. And I didn't know that would mean like the first joke that was like made about like cocaine or something like that, he just became a drug addict after that. And it was quite a chaotic stream. But let me see if I can pop up Indiana Drugs here. You can see, oh no, that's Guy Fieri. I haven't changed the test image on this scene yet. But this is when we did our cooking stream. We used AI chef Guy Fieri, and he was able to communicate with us. But I don't have the program booted up right now. Otherwise, I'd show you guys a little demonstration. Miss Chester says, what does Bevo stand for? It's actually just a play on my first name and last name. So my last name, for those of you who don't know, is Evangelista. But in grade 9, my grade 9 business teacher, he was spelling out all of our student names on the board. And because my name's like pretty long and pretty weird, he was unable to successfully spell my name, and people were kind of like laughing at him. So he erased my name from the board, and he's like, no, that's not your name anymore. Your name isn't Evangelista, it's Evo. And he like shortened it down to the 3 letters. He's like, EVO, that's what we'll call you. If anyone refers to you by your first name or your last name after this, that's it, you're losing marks. So then he was like a pretty influential teacher in the high school. So by the end of grade 9, everyone, even teachers, the faculty, the principal, everyone was calling me Evo. So that was my nickname, and then I just put my first initial in front of it to create Bevo. And I think it's fairly catchy, but that's what some people call me Evo, some people call me Bevo. But if you see my friends from like way back in the day, yeah, I'm a Mitsubishi Evo Aflad. They all call me that. Carbon XL, hello Bevo. Fan of Dan and you too. Hoping you're doing okay, and everyone in the chat. Oh, well, I hope you're doing well too, Carbon. Sorry. It's been a busy past couple days for me. I got home. So first off, I'm leaving Monday morning, and my car, for those of you who don't know, I drive a Honda Civic Ferrari. Fastest car on the grid, but also very battle-born and war-torn, I should say. It has its fair share of dents and dings from the years of good driving, I should say. But my battery was like original to the car, so it was like super old. And like the day of, when I'm going to drive down to Dan's, which it's like roughly an 8-hour drive down to Baltimore from where I live, my battery's dead. And I'm like trying to start my car. I'm like, it's like just nothing's working. And I'm like, oh my God, is this going to be the one thing that takes me out? I was like, no, there's no way that I'm like delaying our trip, because Dan and I have been planning since before summer to like get together. It's just been so long overdue. I wasn't going to let that end the trip. So I called my buddy who lives upstairs. He was working from home. John Garza, welcome to the channel, my friend. Hope you enjoy our lovely, happy, crazy family that we have going on here. But yeah, what's it called? So I called my friend and I was like, hey man, do you have jumper cables? Please, just like living on a prayer, hoping I can get down to this, or get my car jumped so I can start driving down to Baltimore. And he's like, yeah man, but like, I don't think you should do like this 8-hour drive if your car battery's legitimately dying. And I was like, oh no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It is what it is. Like, I just, once I get driving, the engine will charge the battery itself. That's the way it works. That's the way cars are good, you know? Honda Civics, they never die. So he jumps my car, battery's going, and I have to go to our local gas station because I have no gas. Obviously, me being not prepared at all. Empty tank. I go down to the gas station and I'm like, to my buddy, I'm like, can you just stay on standby in case my battery dies? And he's like, yeah, sure, man. But I really think you should go to a parts store and get a battery before you leave, because it's not that hard to replace a battery. For those of you know or don't know, it's literally just like 4 nuts and then the battery's out and you just put a new one in. But I didn't want to waste any time. I had 8 hours to drive. I was gonna be hitting the open road, enjoying my first road trip in forever, and seeing my buddy Dan, who I hadn't seen in a couple of years. So go to the gas station, fill up, and I'm like, please let my battery have charged enough. And I put my key in the ignition, start the car, and it goes. And I was like, oh shit, this is it. Like, I'm gonna be stuck at this gas station. There's nobody nearby. There's like a gas station attendant, but like, I don't know if he has jumper cables, and I didn't want to ask. Start my car again. I was like, oh my god, this is it. Like, I'm gonna have to tell Dan I'm gonna have to postpone this trip or whatever. Started up the third time, baby kicks into life, and I'm on the road flying. I get all the way to the border, and the line is massive, and I'm like, oh god, please, like, because like the car's like idling. I mean, like, I think the engine's charging the battery, but I don't know. Luckily, get through the border. The lady was grilling me harder than she's ever grilled me. For whatever reason, anytime I go and see Dan, the border security always gives me the hardest time, and I have no idea why. It's just like bad luck. They let me through, but she was like, because I guess I had been going on a lot of trips recently. She's like, so what are you going down here for? I saw you were down here in like January. What was that for? And I was like, honestly, like, I know it looks bad, but I can't remember what I did in January. Like, I have no idea what I was doing in the States. And then she's like, oh, okay, well, what about this trip that you took in like April? And I was like, I know this looks bad too, but I can't tell you what I was doing in April. Like, I have no idea. My memory doesn't go back that far. And then she's like, okay, well, what about this trip that you took back in August? And I was like, oh, okay, well, that one I actually do know. I was out in Missouri filming for a documentary. And she's like, filming? Are you making money? And I was like, I instantly knew I like fucked up. And I was like, no, it's just for fun. It's like a hobby thing. And then she like leans in and she's like, you're not trying to like live down here, are you? And I was like, no chance. I have a house in Canada. And she's like, well, how do you make money? Like, how do you afford all this time off and this trips? And she's like really laying into me. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, well, you know, I do kind of like odd jobs. I do freelance editing that gives me flexibility to move where I want. She definitely didn't want the boom check, but no, she grilled me so hard to get down. I don't even think I told Dan this, but like literally every time I go and visit him, for whatever reason, when I say I'm going to visit Dan Bell, they're like very sus. They're like, no, the first time I went to go visit him like a long time ago, the person was like, no, you're not visiting this guy. He like looked up Dan's YouTube. It's like crazy. But yeah, no, made it down to Dan's, no problem. But then on the way back, because I parked my car at his parents' house, I met his parents for the first time, actually. Very sweet individuals. Parents are very soft-spoken. And Dan, his poor parents, Dan like torments them. We were sitting out in the balcony like talking to them, or out on the porch talking to them, and Dan's saying all this like heinous stuff to his poor mother to try and embarrass her, and she just keeps saying like, oh my god, how do you come up with all this? Or she was telling me stories about how when like they'd go shopping at the mall together, and Dan would like throw himself on his mother in front of like the cashier and be like, I love you, mom, you're the best lover, and she'd like run screaming out of the mall because she couldn't handle the just complete horrible bit he was doing. He'd always try and spin some like weird like incestuous story, or like try and say that she was shoplifting, or like just all the worst. But you know, Dan. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Maggie McGee, for subscribing to the channel. Welcome. Hope you enjoy the videos, the content, the craziness. Oh my god, we're getting the subscriber train rolling in here. Hello, Mate Louis. I'm sorry, I hope I pronounced that correctly. I have a tendency to butcher all these names. But yeah, so parked my car at Dan's parents' house, and I knew on the way back it was going to be rough. So I already knew that the battery was probably going to be dead because it had been sitting there for like over 2 weeks. So I was texting my my buddy who's a mechanic up in where I live. I was like, hey man, like if I bought a battery at cost, how much would it be up there? And he's like, oh, it'd probably be like 160 Canadian. So I was like, okay, that's kind of expensive. So I was like looking up stores, looking up auto parts and stuff, and for my car, the battery here would be about like 100 American, which is probably roughly the same price, but maybe like a little bit cheaper. So I weighed in that like for peace of mind, it would be like just easier for me to like drive home on a fresh battery. Wouldn't have to worry about it like messing up. So Dan, very nice of him. The night after we streamed with the Saturday Night Live with Dan, we both went to bed at like 3 or whatever. Dan wakes up at 8, drives me to get my car battery. And I'm like telling him, I'm like, yeah, I know how to do it. It'll take me like 10 minutes tops. Super easy job. Don't worry about it. I really appreciate you driving me for the battery. Like, it's just going to be smooth. I was promising him. I was like, you'll be in and out 10 minutes. You won't even have to worry about it. I opened the hood of my car. And of course, the nut holding the bracket for my battery on, if you don't know, it's like there's like 2 nuts that hold your battery in place so it doesn't like jump around if you like hit a speed bump or something. But they look like they haven't been touched since the car was first manufactured. They are rusted to shit. And all I have is like a little 10 mil wrench set, and I'm trying to like ratchet the thing, and I'm like just praying that I don't strip this screw and like completely bust the battery bracket. But after like what I told Dan would be a 10-minute job, exactly, Cam Bam, Dan Bell's name, sets off the border security. They don't want anything to do with the guy. He's a very sketchy individual. No, I'm just kidding. But ratcheting the thing, finally, after like what was supposed to be a 10-minute job, probably half an hour of playing with this thing, Dan's just like sitting there like, oh man, that doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't want to like make you wait, me just being like the nervous, anxious person. But get the wing nut off, get the battery replaced, everything's all good. Start the car, boots up into first try. So we're laughing, sail all the way back home. Get back, there was a little bit of traffic, so I got back around 9 p.m. and drove to my parents' house and slept there. And then I had to legitimately go to bed right away because I had to drive them to the airport at 4 a.m. So drove them to the airport at 4 a.m., got back to my house probably around 7, and then just slept pretty much for the whole day. And then yeah, woke up today, got some editing done. For those of you who haven't seen the stream I did, the next edited video that I have coming out on this channel is going to be the eating cursed foods every time my voice exceeds a certain volume. That obviously won't be the title because that's a terrible title, but it was the stream I did with Chef Mo in the background here. We had a big table set up with all these random toppings, horrible toppings like sardines, spam, horseradish, blue cheese, strawberry syrup, all this random crap. And basically I was playing a horror game, and anytime my volume exceeded like a certain level, I would have to eat a either 1, 2, or 3 topping sandwich. We spun like a little wheel. So that was a fun stream, and that'll be coming out, I'm hoping, for either next week or the week after. I'm just gonna try and get it done before I go away. I'm like about 90% done. I was just having some audio issues, so I'm hoping to get it out for either the next week or the week after. But yeah, so did some editing today, and then went to go play hockey. I had hockey at 7. For those of you who were staying up to date on my hockey, I was keeping everyone up to date in the Discord. We came second place again. We lost in the finals, but our fall season just started up today. We played a very rough team, and for those of you who were staying updated, there was like a fight pretty much every single game in the finals. Today was no different. These guys, we played a new team that we'd never seen before because we moved up a division, and we're now in D1. Big ups for the kids. But yeah, so today we were playing a very aggressive team. My shin is like blown up right now. I won't show you because no free feet content. But I'm currently icing my back leg and my shin because I took a couple slashes. But after the game, there was a brawl, which is not uncommon for hockey, but it's very unfortunate. Chris says you're gonna lose your teeth doing that. I mean, this season isn't even ice hockey, it's outdoor ball hockey, and we play like gladiator style with legitimately no equipment. All you have is gloves and a stick, and you just run. So it's quite a lot more dangerous. All the slashes definitely get to you. Aflad, I do not fancy some anchovies, and Beyond Fast, that will not be the title. That will definitely not be the title. I need to come up with something a little bit more flashy, you know, like every time or horror game name here, but every time I stream, I eat something horrible, and then you'd have like a thumbnail image of like some gross food and me just crying, tears streaming down my eyes. But I have a lot of fun streams like that planned too. The cooking stream, I want to do like Halloween festive, like somebody mentioned pumpkin pie. I want to do like making a pumpkin pie, but the AI like sabotages the recipe. So they'll put like beans or something in it. Mars, hello. And then, sorry, Jason said, is this channel a variety show of sorts? Exactly. I mean, I don't have like, obviously like, it's probably better if you're growing a channel to like niche down. So I might start doing like series where I like play like a longer game. So you guys can like suggest what game you want to see me play, and I'll play it for like a week or like 2 weeks or whatever. But at its core right now, I stream every Tuesday and Thursday. The times vary a little bit. I usually try and stream around 9 p.m., but it all revolves around when I have hockey or what's going on. But I've been pretty consistent with my Tuesday and Thursday streams for the most part. I'm sorry when I miss my streams, but I try and announce beforehand on my Discord, which is linked in the description below, when I'm going live, to kind of give you guys a heads up. And usually what I involve is gaming or some sort of gaming challenge. Tuesdays I kind of take to be my more creative, out of the box style streams where I'll do something with AI or like programming or something like that. For example, like I said, I played Pajama Sam, where I had an AI dictate my every move, and I had to do exactly what they said. Or like I did an escape room and I tried to see if the AI could make it out of the escape room. Or we did Fortnite, where YouTube chat controlled my gun. So every time somebody in chat said shoot, my gun would shoot, which helped me or hindered me, but I tried to get a victory royale, and I definitely want to run that back. And I'm actually testing in this stream ultra low latency. So I'm hoping that it's not lagging or buffering for you guys, and that my computer can actually handle low latency, so I can actually respond in quicker time. But yeah, Jamie, cheesy pumpkin pie with olives. That's probably something the AI chef would cook out. If you missed the last cooking stream we did, we had, what was it? Pierogies with beans and floor onions that were wiped on the floor. We had salad with potato chips mixed with a Guitar Hero guitar. And then we chopped our potatoes with like a hibachi style with like a knife that we swung, and did some cooking. The cake was the worst, which we made the main course, which was the pierogies, the side dish, which was the salad, and then for dessert we did bean banana cake topped with mustard, rotten grapes and banana peel, which was absolutely horrible. And I definitely felt it in my stomach for the next couple of days. Ty, who was my sous chef, he threw up right after the stream. But I definitely want to run something like that back so you guys can watch us cook some absolutely crazy creations that Chef Guy Fieri or Gordon Ramsay will come up with. Hello, Lisa. Glad to see you here. Johnny, I see you here. Guitar Hero guitar mixing was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, if you don't want to watch the full stream, I actually have an edited version of that video. It is like 40 minutes, but I think it's relatively well paced, so it won't seem too stressful on the viewer. Chainsaw, have to leave already. 3:30 a.m. in my country. Have to go to sleep. Bye-bye. Well, good night to you, Chainsaw. I'm glad you tuned in. Very happy to see you, and I'm sorry that it's so late. I definitely do try and do sometimes some earlier streams at like 5, so like we can get a wide range. And when I do end up doing my 24-hour live stream, obviously you guys will be able to tune in whenever and just kind of see what's going on. I'll have like I'll try to sleep as little as possible, but I'll have like a bedroom cam for those of you weirdos that want to watch me sleep. No, I'm just kidding. But I also want to play an idea with like a subathon, and do potentially like every subscriber adds like an extra minute to the subathon, or every donation adds an extra whatever. But currently we're unmonetized. We're in the process of getting monetization going, but that's not the goal of this channel. The goal of this channel is honestly just to have fun, interact with a fun group of people, and grow this community into something that you guys want to come and hang out and just have fun. Come and see me, come and see each other, you know. I want everyone to be one big happy family. I also have been playing with the idea. I've been telling myself that I'm gonna buy a hot tub for like years now. I've had this place for about 3 years, and every year I say this is the year where I'm gonna get a hot tub. So hopefully this channel will motivate me into getting one, and when I do get one, potentially doing a hot tub stream. So that's something to look forward to, but that'll be way down the line. Jamie says, I think we'd probably watch you sleep. How could you make that interactive? Well, I could definitely have like text to speech on, so like I could make it so like every like 100th chat gets read out, or every donation gets read out, or whatever. But yeah, I feel like a hot tub stream would be fun. I'd have like some game hooked up while I'm like in the hot tub trying to do something interactive. Interactive and intrusive, exactly, Hank. And let me look at I've had the Q&A running for a while now, so let me look and see if there's any questions here. I don't exactly know how Q&As work for you guys, but if you want to submit your questions, I'm looking at that chat right now. So Heriberto Mendoza says, hi Brennan, watch you on Saturdays with Dan. That episode was hilarious. Glad to see you're back safe, brother. What was the first Urbex location you have ever been to? That's actually a funny story. How I got into Urbex was I want to say it was almost out of spite, which is not the greatest way to get into Urbex, but I'll explain. So basically, a couple of my friends, or like friends of friends, I saw were going to like abandoned places and taking pictures and posting them on Instagram. And young little me, I think I was like 17 or 18 at the time, I was like, oh, that looks so cool. Like, how can I get in on that? I was like, and then I just figured, I was like, oh, I know these people through friends. Like, might as well just like shoot them a message and see if they'll take me. Because they were shooting at not like crazy locations, but like some cool abandoned houses. And like there used to be an old restaurant near my house called the Plainsman. That was like a truck stop / restaurant. It was a very cool. I actually have a video on it on my Uncharted Travel channel. But anyways, shot him a message. And I was just like all confident. I was like, hey, like at this time, young, naive me knew nothing about the Urbex community and how gatekeepy and competitive it was. So shot him a little message. I'm pretty sure something along the lines of, hey man, love your photography. I've seen you around and I'm friends with so-and-so. Any chance you could take me along on your adventures or whatever, something like that. And I was like so happy and eager, and I was like, wow, this is a really cool like hobby I could get into, or I could see myself doing. And their response essentially was just like, we don't think it's for you. We don't think you'd be good at it. So we're not taking you, and we don't take people we don't know or don't trust. And I was like, okay, kind of fair enough. So I hit up another guy in that same like sort of circle, and he said the same thing. And I was like, well, fuck you, man. Like, I just want to have like, I don't even want to like take photography or take photos at that point. I just wanted to tag along for the ride and go on a little adventure, you know? So I was like, I made it my goal essentially to find some really cool abandoned places and get into the hobby. I started like fixating on it like someone with hyper ADHD, which maybe, oh, sorry if I hit the mic and that exploded your guys' eardrums, but hyper ADHD, which maybe I have, who knows, undiagnosed. I haven't been to a doctor. Don't go to a doctor. They're scary. Just kidding. Go to a doctor if you're sick. But also stay hydrated. Need some water. It's very dry in my basement and I gotta stay thirsty. But back to our story. Basically, I was just like spending my time looking on Google Maps, combing through Google Earth, trying to find anything that looked abandoned, looking on forums, old posts, anything I could find for all these abandoned places. And as you know, I got my start on Uncharted Travel, started posting videoing my explores with a GoPro. My first few videos are very shit and embarrassing, and I'm sorry for anyone who has seen them. But yeah, found a cool like sort of archive of locations, or a cool collection of locations. And once I had that base collection, I started trading with other people in the community and getting even more cool locations. And before you knew it, I was shooting at like some untouched time capsule houses. Damian Stachelski, welcome to the family. I'm sorry for butchering your name, but that's just part of the initiation. I sincerely apologize. But yeah, so I had a cool archive of locations and I started posting on Instagram. And lo and behold, the same person that rejected me basically reached out and he's like, hey man, this is a sweet location. Any chance you could share that so like me and my friends could go there? And me being the petty 18-year-old that I was, pretty much verbatim just copy and pasted his message, and I said, you know, I don't think you'd be good at this hobby. I don't think you'd like it, and I don't really take or show locations to people I don't trust or don't like. And needless to say, he read that message, did not reply, and I haven't really heard from those guys since, but they've been like phantom liking all my work, which, I mean, I'm over it now. It was just like, you know, you should never be petty, but it was kind of satisfying to be able to bring that thing full circle. So that was how I got my start, and my first abandoned location was that Plainsman restaurant that I was talking about. It was a really cool truck stop, and it had a big open restaurant, and at the time, there wasn't really many people doing urbex, and there wasn't many people like checking out abandoned places, so there wasn't really any vandalism in the place. It was for the most part untouched, besides a few scrappers that had come in and taken some of the copper piping out of the walls and shit. But it wasn't too bad. It had a big buffet with like a full buffet counter, and then it had like a bar. It had like seating area with all the chairs and everything still made. All the back room with like the kitchen, I should say, and all the plates and cups still in their respective cleaning containers or whatever. And then it had like at the front, it had like a big reception area, almost like a little hall where like you could throw events or something. And then it had a second floor, which was all the truck stop rooms. And like some of them were furnished, some of them weren't. I think when I went back to record, it was a lot more run down because people were finding out about the spot and getting into there. But it was just like a novel little spot. I wasn't really like hiding it from anyone or gatekeeping it from anyone, but it was just kind of like a place I'd go and visit or just like traverse through, and I was comfortable being by myself in that spot. It was like the first, I think it was also the first solo explore I ever did. But yeah, that was the first place I ever explored. It was called the Plainsman Restaurant. I'm sure you can probably find some photos or videos of it online. I have a video of it on my channel. But yeah, after that I was very interested in like big industrial because I watched a lot of like the proper people when I was first getting into and like researching urbex, and they were doing like factories, big industrial buildings, big open stuff. So I was like brushing off all these time capsule houses that I would go up to one and I'd see like everything left behind, and I'd be like, I don't want to film this. This isn't that cool. I'd rather film like a big open empty factory, which is just like, after like a year of like filming factories, I was like, you know what? I think these like, I went to like a time capsule house and it was like, I can't remember which one it was, but it like blew up on, it was the old Polish family home. That was the first time capsule we did, and it was our first video on the channel to get like 100K. And I was like, damn, I should do more of these time capsule houses, because I had a few of them under my belt. And as I like went and kind of like explored more of these time capsule houses, I got to love them more and appreciate like that you were really just peering into like the past of someone's life and seeing like all the stuff people left behind, and just kind of like, if you didn't know the story of these people or why the home was abandoned, you'd find out like how they lived, or like sort of like the story of these people by proxy of exploring the house, and you can kind of make assumptions. So I really like that aspect. Half-Led says, please play the Silent Hill 2 remake. I will write that down. If anyone also has some suggestions for games, you can feel free to throw them in the Q&A, because I've been like, I have a list here that like every time somebody suggests a game for me on stream, I'll write it down so I can play it later. And in the future too, I'll be like hosting polls as to see what you guys want to play. But I think for October, I'm gonna like hone in on horror if I can. So you guys will see a lot of that stuff, and I'll try and do like horror with twists and stuff, like with AI or with challenges, stuff like that, because I feel like it's a lot more exciting and gets the audience, or gets you guys invested, if we're kind of rooting for a goal together, or if you're like against me, rooting against me. It kind of just, you know, adds a little bit of extra spice. Catherine says, what are your thoughts on Halloween decorations? I personally love Halloween decorations. Fall is my favorite time of the year. I don't know about where all you guys are from, but here in Ontario, the leaves change color, and it's just a beautiful season. I know when I'm driving down, or when I'm heading down to my buddy's place in Virginia, he has the same sort of forests there, and that time of year the leaves are all changing color. And I know we're gonna hit up, there's like a famous corn maze near where he lives, where they do corn maze, they do cider, pumpkin picking, all that fun stuff. That is my jam. I love fall. I love picking pumpkins. I love just everything about the season. But decorations, as a kid, I would always deck out my parents' front door with like, I'd get all the fake cobwebs, put all that stuff up, all the little spiders. We had a couple like animatronic things. We had like one, I think it was called Mr. Bones. It was just like a head, and it would like, he would like shake his body around if he like motion detected somebody was near, and sing some sort of weird jingle. And I thought that was the coolest thing. And then we had some guy that would like pop out of a hat. Nothing too big or too crazy, but I love decorating and I love carving pumpkins. So I also had a Baby Yoda Halloween decoration with it was like an inflatable, and he had like a little, he was sitting on top of a pumpkin or something. Absolutely adorable, but unfortunately he got deflated and broke, so he will not be out around my house this season. Jamie says, did you have any rotten fruit waiting for you when you got home this time? Not fruit, but I went to my nunna's like right before I left for Dan's, and I had leftover spaghetti, and that was definitely a science project and a half with the amount of mold colonies it had inside of it. So that was unfortunate. Had to throw that out into the green bin outside because it was like stinking up the house as soon as I opened my fridge. But besides that, I was pretty good. I think there was also some eggs, but eggs don't really stink unless you open them, so I just chucked it in the green bin, left it for the animals, you know. Flamboyant Pickle says, did you burn the clothing after you sat down on that beautiful couch in that lovely store? If you're referring to the adult store where Dan pushed me onto that there was like, we went into like this back theater, and it was all darkly lit, and it was clearly just like a hookup spot, because there was like porn playing on both sides of the room and like TVs, and the couches were covered in like, first they had like fuzzy like mold colonies growing on them, but they were also covered in like semen, piss, I'm sure all sorts of bodily fluids. And I was wearing a t-shirt, and Dan was cruel enough to push me onto the couch, and my bare skin rubbed all into some big stained spots. Unfortunately, I didn't burn my clothes. They're currently going through the laundry, and I'm hoping a couple washes will be enough to get any toxic material out. But yeah, that's how that went. But we definitely, on my trip with Dan, we had a lot of interesting locations we checked out. We checked out some massage parlors, not to get massages, just to go in and see what it was like. We checked out adult bookstores. We checked out some really rough neighborhoods. And then we had some nice spots like the Philly cheesesteak. But Dan doesn't really like those spots. For those of you who know, he likes to go to the grungy, rundown areas to see the worst of the worst. We also saw some bad motels. Oh my God, we rented this room just to use as a break room for when we were filming our the Halloween video that Dan's planning on releasing. And because it was like right across from where we were filming, and the room, once we sat down on the bed and turned off the AC and turned off the lights, turned on the lights, the roaches came out in force. There were like out from behind this mirror, there was like 4 of them that just like instantly started running on the walls, and we like freaked out, and we're like, because originally we were debating having a nap or sleeping in that place, but after we saw like the amount of I think within the span of a minute must have seen about 20 roaches, and I was like, no, I'm not bringing anything in here for rest. I'm done. I'm standing outside by the car. We're not filming any ADR here. I'm not interested in staying in this abode. But Dan laid down in the bed and had a nap. It didn't faze him too much because he's sadistic like that. But yeah. Jamie, have you thought about a random morning stream? That could be interesting. I do want to experiment with the idea of doing some weekend streams here and there, because there were a lot of people that really liked the late night Friday night stream. Maybe I could do a Saturday morning stream. Something like that I feel like would be really good. I'm kind of like the channel's still in like its infancy, where I'm comfortable kind of like experimenting with different times. Sure, I still stream Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's going to be like my hard locked streaming days for the bare minimum. Like I do want to eventually branch out and do some weekend streaming or some more streaming, or just like pop-up streaming. But I definitely am interested. I could dabble. I feel like the 24-hour live stream will give me a lot of good data as to when people want to tune in, or when people are watching, or when people are on YouTube. But yeah, I feel like that could be good for some EU viewers as well if I did a morning stream, just to kind of have that diverse time range where everyone can kind of get a little piece of Bevo, you know, come and hang out. Just want it to be like a relaxing, I want to be your guys' comfort streamer, you know, I want to throw on some cozy little fun games. I'm maybe not in Halloween because we're going to be doing some horror games, but I find it comforting when you know you're not playing the horror game, but you're watching somebody with some nice lo-fi beats like you hear going on in the background. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, I would definitely consider and have considered a morning stream. Sorry, I'm also taking so long to answer all these questions, but I just like going into detail for you guys. Flamboyant Pickle, oh no, sorry, I already read that one. My bad. Chris W443 says, you and Dan looked happiest making stuff together since the early ADR days. Also, you been a blast on the podcast. Are things better than before? I don't really want to like put anyone out by saying things are better or things are worse. I think it's just different, and I think they're like both situations are good, or have their pros. So I feel like I'm having fun. I had fun then, and that's just like sort of like a time that's passed, and now I'm having fun in this new chapter here with Dan and with my own personal channel, because I've been wanting to do something like this where I just worked on personal or passion projects for like the longest time. Don't get me wrong, I love Urbex. I feel like it's not the most sustainable, and it's like from a content creation perspective, I've done so much stuff in the Ontario region in order for me to like drive, in order for me to like film a new abandoned location that I haven't done, or like something unique that I think is like worthy of the Uncharted Travel channel. I have to drive so far in order to actually get that video. So to put in perspective, for like one Uncharted Travel video, and sorry, I know I'm kind of going off on a lot of these random tangents, but it takes probably, I would say, let's say 5 hours of research to find a location. Then on average, it'll probably take 3 hours driving there, 3 hours driving back. We're already at 11 hours for a video. Then it's 3 hours to film, so we're at 14. And then sometimes I don't even get in the location. Like sometimes I just have to drive home and I don't even get a video. But we're at 14 hours. Then clip sorting. And for those of you who don't know, I literally write down. Let me see if I can find an old paper. Or here's my old journal. I'm sure I could find something in here. But I write down like all the minutes and like clips. And that usually takes about 2 or 3 hours here. You can see this is like a shot list from an old video. Let me see if I can see what video this even is. Greasy plate. It was probably a time capsule house. But I write down all the minutes and highlight different stuff. It looks absolutely chaotic, but that's my system. That usually takes about 2 hours. So we'll be at 16 hours. Then I cut the video. And that, depending on how long the video is or how in depth it is, that can usually take roughly about like 20 hours. So now we're at 36 hours. Then I do about like 4 hours of post work. So we're at 40 hours. And then usually like promoting another hour. So for one video, sometimes it can take, I'd say like roughly 40 to 50 hours. And to keep pumping out that week per week per week. And I know 40-hour work week is like, that's like the standard. But sometimes you don't even get a video. Sometimes you don't even get like that week. And sometimes it does take longer. I just find like to find these locations and to keep doing that, it's not super sustainable. So I feel like for people that are interested in just like me working on anything, this is kind of like a good channel for me to like just explore other creative options. But yeah, that's just a little bit of insight into the Uncharted Travel channel. But yeah, to answer your question, Chris, things were good then, things are good now. And I'm looking forward to the future. And I hope all you guys are looking forward to the future too, because I'm so thrilled that you guys are wanting to tune in and watch some goofball like me just do whatever we decide to do that day. And I'm definitely working on things like I've been working on like talking in front of a camera. I know I still have a long way to come, but you guys will see me improve hopefully. And just working on like my flow, my workflow in terms of like doing shorts, research and development in terms of like making good and engaging streams for you guys. And I feel like just like sort of shaping this stream into something that like you guys want to watch and you guys are interested in like coming to hang out with. And then now, sorry, next question. Afflet said, have you got fiber optic? That would be great for low latency. Yes, actually, funny enough, Canada or at least Ontario, just started receiving fiber optic like 2 years ago. And there is only one company that has it, and it's Bell Fiber, and they hold the complete monopoly in the area. So like every neighborhood, like at some point last year or this year, the construction teams will come in and they'll run fiber optic lines if you want them directly to your house. And I was like, hell yes, please. I need like fast internet for rendering, for uploading, just for my work in general. And it has been the craziest and fastest internet I've ever had. I think there are faster plans right now, but right now I think I get 1 gig up, 1 gig down, which is like nuts for me. So I'm glad nobody's been mentioning any latency. So I think the buffering, sorry. So the ultra low latency, I think we can start to do in the future. The only downside is I can't do ultra low latency in 4K, but I think the picture's clear enough like this. And also, if you guys realized, I got a new light, or at least a new light filter. So now I'm not looking all orange or yellow or whatever. Now it's actually like soft white light hitting my face, and I actually look like a human being now. Before I looked like some sort of Oompa Loompa or something when I would watch myself back, and I would just cringe. But it's all part of the learning process. I've worked a lot too to try and get my microphone to be as crisp and as nice as possible for you guys, so you guys can have clear and clean audio. You can see my OBS, it's like a mess of filters and just different audio capture devices and stuff, but that's I guess a stream for another time, or a tale for another time. But moving on, we got Jamie's question. And for those of you who are also tuning in, I have a Q&A running. I think it's at the top. You can click on there and like type in a question and I'll answer it. But I'm just reading off some questions that people have submitted here. Jamie says, what is your favorite color? My favorite color is, and always has been, I like a baby blue. Kind of like either my eye color or like this shirt, kind of like a lighter sort of baby blue, I think is always just like very easy on the eyes. And you can see like in some of my work, I lean towards having like blue tones or blue hues and stuff like that. Sorry, so next thing I gotta work on is not looking at my backup monitor and just looking at the camera here, because I'm having a conversation with you guys, you know, we're one-on-one here. We're having this personal interaction. Favorite song? I don't know if I can pinpoint a favorite song. If it had to be like all time, I'm a pretty big Paramore fan, so I think Misery Business by Paramore is pretty good. Born for This by Paramore is pretty good. But right now, I listen to a lot of like alt rock or like indie music. But I'm not against any genre. Like I'm not one of those people that are like, I hate country or I hate EDM or whatever. I believe there's a vibe for everything. So if the vibe is right, any kind of music can sound good. But when I'm just driving or I'm just chilling, I listen to a lot of alt rock or country, or not country, sorry, alt rock or indie. Favorite band right now is called Trophy Eyes. If you haven't heard them before, I'd recommend looking them up on Spotify. If you like those sort of genres of music, they make some really good stuff. I can't remember the song that I always blast, but no, I can't remember the title, but that's okay. Just look them up if you're interested in hearing some good tunes. Alex said, do one stealth camping trip, but only with items from Temu and Alibaba. That could be fun. That could be a fun little video idea. And I definitely have ideas for like streaming that necessarily maybe aren't streams, but are like videos. Like I feel like something like that I could potentially just put into like a video versus like a live stream. Maybe I can like live stream some of the process, but I'll film more stuff like off camera or off stream to kind of like put together a video for. I've heard their products, some of them are hits, but a lot of them are misses and will just break on you. The one thing that's very good from I don't know if it's on Temu or Alibaba, but it's really cheap on Amazon. It's called the Pocket Rocket, and it's just like a $10 burner. Let me see if I actually have it in my closet. Bear with me. Disconnect my top from my rucksack here. I think it's in. This is the top piece of my rucksack that comes off. It's a sleeping bag liner, very handy. I think my cooking supplies are in this pouch right here. But let me see. Oh, this is my expensive ass water pump, but it works wonders, and it's a ceramic filter. Here are the butane canisters for the Pocket Rocket. Let me see if the Pocket Rocket is in here. Oh, I know where it is. It's packed in my cooking set. But basically, because I like to do a lot of ultra lightweight backpacking, my system that I have for cooking is I have this canister and there's a tiny burner that sits on top of here, and it's literally smaller than the palm of my hand. And I just put a pot on and I boil water, and then I use like the MREs or the sort of meals. Terry Drew, welcome to the channel. I'm sorry for butchering your name, but like I said, that's part of the initiation. I'm happy that you joined us. I'm happy that you subscribed, and I hope you enjoy being here. But yeah, so it sits on top of this, and it cooks. It's $10 on Amazon, called the Pocket Rocket. It's a fantastic burner. It's ultra lightweight. Highly recommend that, and I will definitely be showing that in the stealth camping stream. But yeah, Temu and Alibaba items would be a lot of fun. To see me put up a tent and it just like completely collapses on me while I'm mid-sleep or something. Okay, sorry. Now on to the next one. Chad, I don't go anywhere. I don't know if that's a question, Chad, but I think you should venture out of your comfort zone and start exploring more. Afflehat says, dogs tonight. There will be no free feet content right now. I'm sorry. I feel like that's like something more for a forfeit. My dogs have already been displayed way too much on stream. You go back into the old streams, you can definitely find them, and I'm sure they will be displayed many more times. Thank God my wiki feet page hasn't been updated. And for those of you who are new to the channel or newer to the channel, it's been a running joke because one stream I joked saying don't Google me, and someone found my wiki feet page, and then that became the complete obsession for the whole stream. So yeah, unfortunately, I am a victim of Wiki Feet, and I have a profile. Didn't make it though. I don't know who did, but it has some definitely old pictures of my feet. Also, I'm gonna take a little sip of Gretzky whiskey to spice things up here. He has a local brewery around here. The whiskey itself, not too great, but it does the trick and it's cheap. So, salute everyone. I would normally take it out of my shot glass that I have, but all my other shot glasses are in the wash, and the one that I was using for stream, when I'd put the alcohol in it, for whatever reason, I guess whoever made like the touristy Amsterdam shot glass that I have didn't think that the coating was or didn't think to put like glass or good coating on the inside, so the alcohol would actually like acidically peel off the inside layers, so I'd swallow the microplastics as I was taking shots, which I think added to the flavor and the experience. If you're not gonna almost die every time you take a shot, then are you really taking a shot, you know? But yeah, so for now I'm sipping it right out of the bottle until I run my washing machine, or my dishwasher, which I forgot to run before I left, so I have a bunch of dirty dishes piling up. What was the most frightening episode of Alone? Elena asks. That's a very good question, and I think each one of them was frightening for their own separate reasons. But I think if we're talking about like core, like genuine fear, I think it would have to be the very first Alone I did in the prison, where I was just so naive and so dumb. I really hadn't been building out my camping setup at that point. If you watch that video back, I literally just had my old camera bag, a random sleeping bag I grabbed out of the closet, strung up with bungee cords, and like just camera gear. I wasn't thinking about food. I wasn't thinking about anything. I literally just brought a can of beans and some trail mix because I thought the can of beans would be cool to eat for like a shot. And like, if you see that video, the fire that I made in that video was literally, I didn't even grab any wood or like anything like flammable. I just grabbed like the flue powder from like fire starters and I just lit that. And then for like, it would light for like 5 minutes and then it would go out, but that was long enough for me to get that shot. I just ate those cold, dumb beans and then stupidly left them outside of my tent. I think that's what possibly attracted the coyotes. But yeah, it was not fun being hunted throughout that prison by the coyotes. For those of you who have seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who haven't seen it, I recommend you watch it. I mean, it was definitely what kickstarted the Uncharted Travel channel. That's what sort of gave us that exponential growth that brought it to what it was today. And originally, I wasn't even going to do it by myself. I remember I was crashing on Dan's couch. It was like middle of October or probably early October, and I was telling him this a video idea I had for this isolated prison. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna bring out some cool camping gear and like show off this camping gear and bring a friend along and we can just kind of like explore the prison together. And he's like, why would you bring a friend along? Go alone. You'll make such a better video if you go alone. And for better or for worse, it made an interesting video, that's for sure. But I was definitely, I wouldn't say I was like crippled by fear, but you could definitely see the fear on my face when the coyotes were making that weird noise. Like I had no idea. I'd never heard an animal make those sort of noises before. It sounded like a jackal or something. I don't know. But the audio, I'm also very upset that the audio for the coyotes sounds so bad, because at the time, the only thing I was recording with for a lot of those tent shots was literally my phone, and the audio recording was from my AirPod microphone. So I had to blow it up so much in post, so it sounds so like crackly and shit. And I will always regret that. Every time I watch that video back, I'm like wincing. I think I got 1 or 2 shots of like clean audio where I was filming with my camera, which is like the one in the intro that I use where like you can hear the coyote howling clearly echoing throughout the prison. But you can definitely tell, sorry, that alcohol is hitting. I need to hydrate, stay hydrated. You can definitely tell when I would use my phone to record audio and when I'd use my camera to record audio. But it was just because like it was all happening so fast that I didn't have time to get my camera in the dark and like set it up or whatever. I just grabbed my phone, hit record, and it was quick, but that's why half of those shots just happened midway through. You can hear like what's going on halfway through because it was just kind of like a run and gun style situation. But yeah, I was definitely afraid for that. Alone episode 2, I'll talk about that one a little bit, or I'll just mention the worst parts of each of those. Alone episode 2 really wasn't that scary for me. It was an abandoned insane asylum. And sure, it was like creepy, but I have a pretty good ability to like block out sort of like fear in my mind and just like replace it with another thought or something else. And I feel like that's like an important skill that everyone should sort of develop, because you can apply that same skill to like nerves or like, I don't know, like any other emotion, sadness, something that you want to block out. It's not the healthiest thing to like bottle things down, but if you need to like act in a certain situation, it's key to like be able to think with a clear head. So Alone episode 2 wasn't that scary, but it was freezing cold. I knew it was going to be cold, and I knew I had no winter sleeping bags. My one friend who was like an active winter camper, he had one that was rated for -40, but he accidentally gave me the wrong bag and it was rated for 5 degrees. So I was still using a fall. Sorry, my throat's super dry. I was still using a fall sleeping bag and I think it got down to -19 when I was in the prison. It was in the insane asylum. It was so fucking cold. All I had to heat me up were like, I had 2 little hot paws and I held one on my chest and like one on my stomach. So I'd heat my hands and my body at the same time. And I just remember my toes being the coldest they've ever been. And it was just not a fun experience in that regard. So Alone episode 2, the worst part was the cold. Alone episode 3, that was when I was in the serial killer's house, or alleged serial killer. It was just like Gordon's house, the creepy guy with the collages of dead animals and the room where he'd lock the children in, stuff like that. So I wanted to make a creepy video. I wasn't very creeped out by the house. So I slept in the room where the child was locked in, or that like the no room or whatever you want to call it. The worst part about that, I thought it was really cool that it was a thunderstorm. It kind of like was like almost calming and it created a creepy atmosphere. But the hardest part about that was just it was so uncomfortable to sleep on that small ass cot. So I think that was definitely the worst part of that Alone episode. Alone episode 4, that was by far the easiest Alone episode I did, because I felt so safe and secure on sleeping on top of that lighthouse. Like there was literally a hatch door that opened and closed, and I had my tent set up on top of that, so I knew no one was coming up that like secret secluded little hatch area. And it just had a beautiful view. It was an interesting spot, secluded again, just very unique location. But yeah, so that was super easy. The hardest part about that was just when the people came in at like 4 a.m. and they were like arguing. I had like a moment of panic because I had no idea who they were or what they wanted. But yeah, that was once I actually ended up talking to them, they were just like other urban explorers and they seemed chill. But there was like a moment of panic there. Alone episode 5, that one I would say is my second hardest one. Not because of fear. I mean, although it was scary in the middle of the night, just hearing all the noises and just like not really getting a good sleep, and that creepy ass motion sensor, which I actually have. I think it's right here in my desk, unless I moved it. Oh yeah, right here. This is one piece of it, but the creepy ass motion sensor, 59, 9. Welcome to the channel, my friend. I'm happy that you joined us. Thank you for subscribing. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate every single one of you guys. But yeah, Alone episode 5, it was hard because I lost literally all of my water. I had 3 water bottles packed in the sides of my bag, but because I was climbing up through that like hazardous rock slide zone, I lost 2 of my water bottles, just fell out of my bag and down the rock slide zone. And so I didn't realize it, but the water I was actively sipping out of, by the time I got to the facility, was my only water bottle. And I was thinking like, okay, I knew there was a natural spring inside of the mines in that mining settlement, but so I was like, I can collect water from there. But when I got to the mine, it was all welded shut. So I was on my own with like the tiniest portion of water. And I just remember drinking it all that night and being so dehydrated the whole rest of the trip, because I had lost so much water from like hiking with that 45-pound sack on my back through the rock slide zone, through the trees, through the weeds. And I just remember when I was all said and done, I was like literally bushwhacking for the last like 30 minutes of the adventure uphill and pulling myself out of like this bushed off area and finally seeing my car. And just the sigh of relief I had for that moment was like the biggest ever. But yeah, those are the rundown of all those alone episodes and the hardest parts of each of one of them. But yeah, most frightening, definitely alone episode 1. Chris, why did you make this channel? I kind of dove into that, but for the most part, I'll reiterate, this is just like sort of like an outlet for me to do some sort of creative / passion projects that I want to do, you know? It's not necessarily just a gaming channel, just a streaming channel. It's just like fun stuff. Like I want to do some IRL content, like you saw with the cooking streams that we did, some interactive content like we did with my friends running in while I was playing Luigi's Mansion and giving me a hard time, some content with chat like we have the D&D going in the future, or when you guys played Fortnite trying to help me get a victory royale where you were controlling my guns. I want to do a lot more stuff like that, and I've been working on some more interesting programming projects that we'll talk about later, because I don't want to mention them and then they flop and I'm not actually able to pull it off. But we got a lot of exciting stuff going, so that's why I made the channel, and I'm hoping you guys stick around for the ride because I'm very excited to have you all here. Applad says, do you know much on cybersecurity and networking, and would you know of any decent online resources? Honestly, the biggest thing, I mean, I'm not big into cybersecurity or like networking security, but if you are looking for a very good, I mean, Windows Defender is a pretty good standard thing, but Malwarebytes is a very good virus detection software, and it's almost, you can almost abuse the system. It's like one of the most powerful ones where you can scan things from your computer, isolate potentially virus-inducing files, or if you have like a virus, you can isolate it, scrub it. It gets rid of like 99% of all viruses. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I just use it actively. And so you get like a 15-day free trial with Malwarebytes, where you get like the full premium access, and it just like basically will 24/7 protect your computer while you have the trial. But when your trial runs out, you can just uninstall it and reinstall it from your computer again, and it's like you get the 15-day free trial all over again. So definitely worth looking into Malwarebytes. Sorry, excuse my fumbly speech here. Just it's been a long couple of weeks. But yeah, Malwarebytes, I think it's Malwarebytes. And the logo is like a blue M. But yeah, if you're ever like needing a virus detection or some sort of software like that, that's a pretty solid, safe bet. But sometimes if you are doing scans, if you recognize a file that it says to isolate, I'd recommend just saying like skip this one, because sometimes you can isolate, like if, for example, I have like a game file that like I isolated by accident and it crashed my game. But yeah. Skrilla Scro says, what do you drive? What car? I briefly mentioned that I drive a Honda Civic Ferrari, fastest car on the grid. It is a very beat up old 2008 Civic, but I love it to death. I got it when I was 18 and I shared it with my sister for the first couple of years that I had it. That's the reason why there's so many dents in it. No, I'm just kidding. But my driver's side door got hit by a hit and run a couple years ago. And then last year I got rear-ended, so the back bumper's a little mangled. Sorry. Let me have another sip of my water here. Apologize. But yeah, that's the car that I drive, and I love it to death. Cam Bam, when are you coming back to New Zealand for a visit? My God, if you are from New Zealand, I love your country. It's beautiful. For those of you who haven't been, beautiful, lush mountains everywhere. South Island has huge white-capped mountain ranges, and there's so much to do. It's called the adventure capital of the world, or adventure tourism capital of the world. I did a 14-day road trip my second year of university, which honestly I think was like 8 years ago. Scary. But with 3 of my really good friends from high school, and we did so much. We did cave spelunking, we did mountain biking, we did hiking, we did a ferry ride into waterfalls, we did bungee jumping, we did luge racing, we did a little bit of skiing, we visited a bunch of the Lord of the Rings sites, and there's so much more that I'm forgetting to mention, but a lot of exciting stuff. I have on my Uncharted Travel channel, I have like a brief little video. I was going to originally do a series, but there was just way too much that I filmed. So there's like kind of like a recap or a cap of that whole little trip on my channel. It's just love that country. I would love to go back there. But I don't have any plans in the near future. So maybe in a couple years, maybe, who knows, if I start doing some travel streaming, that would be probably a prime destination for me. Jack says, are there any other abandoned places in Florida that you would like to explore? I haven't been to Florida in a minute, so I don't really know what's been demolished and what hasn't been demolished. I would like to see, people have been sending me updates on the Sun Celebration Resort, which is like a big resort that I filmed there. And apparently it's like really run down now. But when I went, it wasn't too bad. There's that spot. I really want to do some stuff out in the Everglades. There's a lot of cool abandoned like bog or swamp houses out in the Everglades that I want to explore. I know Dan has the coordinates for some, so maybe if we ever go down there or head back down there, I'll do some cool urbex out that way. But for now, I haven't really been looking into Florida too much, so I don't really know what's down there, but I definitely want to do the Everglades. I love the Everglades. The Wander R, when or do you have time to date or meet up with friends? And do you have a girlfriend or boyfriend? These past 2 months have just been go, but I do have downtime. Like I said, I play in a hockey league that usually plays Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Sundays. They mix it up between that. Oh, my OBS just froze. I hope my camera, okay, let me go to my camera source. I might have to flash my camera source real quick. Deactivate, reactivate. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm back. Oh no, it's freezing again. Deactivate, reactivate. Okay, it's frozen again. Bear with me, people. This happens every now and again. I think I need to plug the USB here, but I'll be back. Just listen to my voice. I think hopefully that fixes things. Okay, looks like we're back in business. I apologize for those technical difficulties, but that does happen on occasion. But yeah, where was I? I have time. Oh no, it's happening again. Let me try turning off the camera. Sorry guys. This happens on occasion, but you can stare at that nice still frame of me. Okay, hopefully refreshing. Oh no, come on, stay with me, camera, for more than 3 frames. Okay, it looks like it's just slow frame right now. Let's see how long this lasts. I won't move too much. We'll stay very still. I'll just look at you guys and answer this question. But I usually get up to hanging out with my friends on the weekends. When I'm on the road, obviously, it's a lot harder. But most of the time, I am traveling when I'm on the road with friends. Like, for example, this Friday, I'm going on a trip with Jake from Bright Sun Films, who's a longtime friend of mine. And he also has a very good crew around him that I've grown to know and become good friends with as well. So I'm excited to see them all. I see my friends when I'm working, and when I'm off, I see my like high school friends and like my hometown friends. For the most part, just on weekends or when I can, like weeknights. Sometimes if I can't see them in person, I'll just hop online on Discord or something and talk to them. We'll play a video game or two together, and sometimes I'll even hop in the Bevo Discord and play with them, play with people, random people in the Discord, which link in the description, by the way. And if you're enjoying the stream, please feel free to give the stream a like and let me know that I'm doing a good job. Like I said, this stream is just a lot more of a face-to-face, but we will be doing more engaging and fun content that gets you guys involved a little bit more. You guys do like gaming or do like IRL type stuff like cooking or something like that I've mentioned. But yeah, and I currently do not have a partner. I am forever alone. I've been kicked down into the trenches of the dating apps, which I think have honestly ruined modern dating in my opinion, but that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I try to make time where I can. It's definitely hard to like if you're talking to someone, it's hard to like meet up in person, especially if you're gone for long periods of time. But that's why I'm hoping in November I'm gonna be like a lot more stationary here, so I'll actually have time to like see friends, see family, all that fun stuff, because I am a very family oriented person. And I'm very fortunate that all my family that does live in Canada, they live within like a 30-minute drive from me. So it's easy for me if I want to do my rounds and go and see everyone. But the rest of my family is actually rest of my family lives in Italy, in the province of Abruzzo, along the coast and in a small mountain village named Elice. But yeah, let me see. Sorry, I lost track of where we were because of all the freezing. Potato Vampire Taco, great name by the way. Have you been in Texas? We have a couple of ghost towns. I sadly have not. Well, I've been to Texas to watch a Cowboys game, but I haven't actually been down there to film anything. The summer where Dan and Jake did their road trip down south, I had to leave early because I was working all summer. And I could only get so much time off work. I used to build pools to pay for my my university tuition. It's not cheap. Well, it's cheaper than the States, but still not cheap. So unfortunately, I couldn't join them for that trip. But I've always wanted to do Texas. I've always wanted to do Vegas. We are in talks of doing Vegas in December or January. So who knows? Maybe I'll make my way down to Texas sometime soon. Definitely a lot of cool ghost towns I want to check out. I do have some on my radar. I just have to look at my old Urbex book, which I think is here, by the way, actually. Let's see if I can find this is OG before, oh yeah, here it is. Before there was like online forums, or online forums were super popular, or people were documenting spots, I had what was called my Spots Bible. And I don't want to show away, because I don't know what of these locations are demolished or not, but I had like all these little papers of GPS, and then all these pages are filled with GPS coordinates of various abandoned locations. But this is like from front to back, page to page, just filled with spots. But that's what I use, and I still use it sometimes. I'll jot something down if I have like road trips, and then I'll just tuck it into there. But yeah, Marlena Miles, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but favorite place I've ever visited. If I could retire, like I said, I like New Zealand, but if I could retire in one spot to live, it would be the Amalfi Coast of Italy. I absolutely love it there. I did a brief, I think I stayed there for a week, and it's just like a beautiful, beautiful coastal village in Italy. And well, it's like a series of 5 villages. So there's Amalfi, which is like the capital of the area. There's Positano, there's Naples, Sorrento, and Capri, but Capri is kind of on its own island. And they're all just like stunning, very picturesque, pastel colored, like fishing village houses. Kind of, if you ever seen I think it's either Disney or Pixar film Luca, I think that was based off of Cinque Terre, but it's a very similar vibe there. Just beautiful coastal, and there's like super yachts all on the water, and then like the beaches just have like really nice white sand beaches with like restaurants right on the beach. And because it's so hard to drive, because like there's only one road that wraps around these mountains, and it's like very busy, restaurants, if you book a reservation, they'll drive to where your residence is, pick you up, drive you to the restaurant, and drive you home afterwards. So you don't need to worry about a DD or anything. And it's just like makes it super convenient. It was like before Uber was even a thing. I remember being down there and it just blew my mind. Chad says, did this work? Yes, to answer your question, yes it did. I can see your question here. Corey Beams, But Chad says, why does your bedroom look like the Atlantic City whorehouses? Well, I mean, my main bedroom light isn't on right now because the LED bulb inside of it conflicts with the shutter speed in my camera, so you'd see a lot of flickering. So for now, I just have my soft light, which is lighting my face, and then behind me, it's my pink neon flamingo, which I got from a New Zealand neon artist, which I really like, and I think it sets like a nice, cool vibe. It doesn't look like the massage parlors in Atlantic City, please. But now that I look at it, it actually does kind of, and that scares me. Now I need to get more decorations. You guys will see my room fully decked out next time, out of insecurity. Yeah. Maria says, what is your scariest paranormal experience? Honestly, I don't know. Like for me, I'm very skeptical when it comes to the paranormal. And I think that just due to in part of me trying as hard as I can. Like I've wandered around in abandoned insane asylums at 3 a.m. in the service tunnels by myself. I've been inside of the alleged serial killer guy's house. I've been in like all these creepy places where I'm like, okay, if I'm ever going to experience something, this is where it's going to happen. And sure, stuff happened, but nothing that I can definitively say was paranormal happened. So like until then, I remained skeptical. The scariest experience, or the most surreal experience, I think, is definitely when I was with Dan and Rick when we were coming out of the Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant. We filmed this ghost town, and we just had one of Dan's ghost hunting devices. It was like an EMF detector. And until then, I just thought it was a very gimmicky piece of equipment. I didn't think much of it. But like I was the one holding it, so I know there was no foul play involved, which like adds that other level to me. But like we were asking it questions and it was going off like crazy, and it was like just like the craziest video. I'm not sure what it was called on Dan's channel, but it's still up, I think, on his Film It channel or his main channel. I'm not 100% sure. That was probably the most surreal / I guess you could say scary, but it was just, it definitely freaked me out a little bit. But obviously I still couldn't definitively say it was paranormal. I don't dunk on anyone who believes in ghosts. Like I want to believe in ghosts. That'd be so cool if they existed, but I just remain skeptical. And I feel like the Alone series also does well remaining from like the point of view of a skeptic, because like I'll just film it and like let the audience decide, because like in my head I'll be like, okay, maybe that was the building shifting, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. But I mean, who am I to say what is and what isn't happening, you know? Like I can't say for certain that it was the building shifted, or it was the building that shifted, but I can't also say for certain that it was a ghost, you know? So I just kind of leave it from this neutral stance, and I think people really like that because they get to sort of interpret it in their own way. So I'm not telling them that it's a ghost, or I'm not telling them that it's like the building. I just kind of like let them decide. But yeah, sorry, another odd tangent. I know I'm going on tangents on all of these, but Afflat says, what do you hope to get up to when you go to Vegas? I know I've already talked to Dan, and we want to film a lot of, there's a rundown motels and like just debunked businesses and like old roadside attractions as you drive out of Vegas along the strip there, or like out into the desert. I think those would be really cool to film and show, and just like sort of have or like to record and document. But I've also never been to Vegas, so I do want to experience the strip like for like a day or two. I feel like it'd be fun. I don't necessarily want to go crazy gambling, but I just want to know what it's like. You know, everyone says it's like the adult playground. It's like the place to go. It's like bachelor haven, or heaven, I should say. But I just want to, you know, see what it's like and just have fun. But I feel like regardless of what we get up to, it'll be a lot of fun. So that's what I hope to get out of Vegas. Just fun experiences, both in the depressing, abandoned state and the fun intentions, or Vegas intentional, or I don't really know how to word that, but the way Vegas is meant to be experienced way. The Madness Hour. What shampoo product do you use? I have two. I use, even though I don't like, I used to have a little bit of dandruff when I was in high school, but I don't really have any now, that I don't think, at least. Embarrassing as it is to say. But I use Head and Shoulders, the 2-in-1 that they have, and then I also use Old Spice. So my conditioner is Head and Shoulders, my shampoo is Old Spice for the scent. So that's my shampoo and conditioning. But my hair right now is actually really gross and greasy because, like I said, I just finished hockey, so I'm all sweaty and gross. And I'm definitely gonna have a shower after the stream. But that's my my shampoo and conditioner product for those of you who want silky smooth hair. No, I'm just kidding. It's very greasy right now, so I apologize. And they also said, if you weren't making videos, what would you be doing? I ask myself this question quite a lot. I mean, I've done a lot of odd jobs. I've worked at my buddy's dad's shop as a mechanic. I built pools all through school. That was good money. I feel like I'd still be working in film because I haven't worked on a film set since the writer's strike, so it's probably over a year now actually. But for work, I actually work as a Q-take operator when I'm not doing like freelance video editing or YouTube editing. But what that position is essentially is I'm the guy who backlogs all the shots and records them to like a drive and then gives that drive to the DMT, which is like a person who does backups of all the footage that we shoot. But I also store it on what's called the Q-take software, and I have my cart where I receive a signal through my receivers from each of the cameras, our camera team's cameras. So if we have 3 cameras, I'll have like one receiver for A cam, one receiver for B cam, one receiver for C cam. And I run wires from those receivers to my cart, and then I run wires from my cart to what is called Video Village. And Video Village consists of, it depends on how big the production is, but it consists of the director of photography's cart, which is usually just a monitor for each one of the cameras. The script super's cart, which is usually just like one monitor, or if they're really bougie, they'll have a monitor for everything. The director's mini mons, which is usually like a set of portable monitors. So the director, because he's usually very mobile on set, he can just move it around wherever he wants. And those are wireless, so I don't actually have to run cables to those. And if the producers want it, sometimes there's producers on set that just want to see what we're doing, or just make sure that everything's running according to plan. I'll set up, depending on how bougie they are, sometimes 4 monitors, sometimes they'll just be satisfied with 1. And sometimes if they're really cool, they'll just look over the script super or the director of photography's shoulders and just watch from there. But sometimes, as you can imagine, it can be a mess of cables and I have to try and sort that out. But basically, what my job is usually entails is I just hit record when the cameras are rolling to record a backup of the shot. And then if the script super wants to see something for like continuity, they'll be like, hey, I want to see scene 23 shot, or scene A shot 23 or whatever from yesterday. And I'm able to go in my backlog on my Q-take software, pull it up and scrub through it, because like maybe they want to see which hand the actor used to open a door, or which how many donuts were in the box or something like that, if they were shooting like a scene, just like little stuff like that. But I did do a couple days on a show called The Boys. I did like a week on there because I was filling in for a friend of mine. And that show, my job is hell because it's such a special effects intensive show, and they like to do a lot of temp effects, which is just like, essentially I can do green screen overlays. So if they have a green screen on set and they give me an image, I can put that image on like in real time on the background and like transmit it to the director of photography. So if like, let's say it's like a city nighttime green screen, they can see roughly what that image is going to look like in the background of the actor and light the scene accordingly, kind of thing. But also if there's like a fight scene, I can do, so they'll have like the second team's in with like the stunt people, and they'll do the fight scene, for example. My throat again, it's very dry in the basement during the winter. But they'll have the second teams in with like the stunt people, and let's say Homelander grabs somebody by the neck or something. Then the actor will, or the director will yell cut. They'll get the first teams in with the real actors, the stunt doubles will move out, and I can take that last frame of when Homelander like is grabbing the guy, and then I can do like a 50-50 overlay of that last frame with what the cameras are looking at in real time, so they can line up the shot as seamlessly as possible to make the editor's job like a little bit easier if they're trying to do like a through scene like that. but usually they do cutaways to help mask those sorts of like first teams and second teams. But sometimes if they want it, it's like stuff like that. What else did I do there? There was like a couple other things that they wanted me to do that I had never done before, so I needed to do a lot of last minute learning. And when you're working like 12 to 13 hour days, usually it's cutting into like your sleep time after when you're offset, like learning all these niche nuances of the software. J Ram says, hey Brennan, what did you major in? I majored in computer science at the University of Guelph. And then once I started working, because like I loved when I was just like before university in high school, I was always doing like Minecraft mods or RuneScape private servers. I would actually make some money in high school programming people's RuneScape private servers for them, and just doing like other like game community mods and stuff like that. So I originally wanted to go into game development, and that was going to be my career choice. But once I started getting my first like programming jobs, I realized I only ever really wanted to program things that I wanted to program, and it wasn't really for me. And I was just like, that's when my YouTube channel started taking off, so I started kind of rolling with that and got into film and fell in love with film, and then started working on film sets. And then but I felt bad because I felt like I was the only person ever or the only person out of like these 200 people on set that hadn't gone to film school. So I kind of did a 180 and went and did my master's in film at Sheridan, which is like a pretty nice arts school around here. But yeah, those are my majors and my master. But yeah. Chad says, where am I supposed to go? Walmart? I don't have adventure buddies. I have plenty of activities to do by myself. I just finished filming 2 episodes. This isn't really a question. You see, that's fair, Chad. But I would say, I mean, like at the beginning when I started doing stuff, I didn't really have people to go with. You just got to get out, find what you want to do, and just kind of go out and do it. You know, like if you like camping, do some solo camping. If you like exploring abandoned places, just go out and explore abandoned places. Join a group, join Facebook groups, find people with similar interests to you, and kind of, I guess that's where you'll find your group of people to adventure with. And I feel like a great way to make friends is to sort of like join a group of like-minded individuals. Like if you like board games, go to a board game cafe and sign up for one of their, like, let's say they have like a Catan tournament or a Catan nights. Go to that, you'll meet some cool people that also like Catan, and then you can adventure together or hang out together and kind of be in that environment. If you like hockey like me, sign up for a hockey team. I didn't know like half the players on my hockey team that I play in on this beer league team, but after playing with them for 11 seasons now, some of them are my really good friends, and I've become good friends with all of them. But yeah, adventure, I say just do it. You'll find like-minded people by understanding what you want to do and doing it. Sorry, hope that helps, Chad. Corey Beam says, how does it feel knowing you search your name on Google and the first thing that pops up is a picture in the shower with Rick in your underwear? Also need to get you on Shoresy for a cameo. I love Shoresy. My dad watches Shoresy. He loves that show too. I'm actually, right now, I'm icing my shin from big slash I took mid-game, but I do love hockey. But yeah, it's definitely not the greatest. It's definitely going to hurt me if I ever want to do job interviews or anything like that. I'm sure the employer will Google my name and not be too impressed with my IMDb or the stuff you see. It's something out of nightmares. But at the same time, I think it's funny. It's unfortunate that that's the first thing that pops up, but when we filmed that scene, I thought it was pretty comedic, at least when it was when it was happening. It was just kind of like a spur of the moment where that shower was just so horrible, and Dan was like, you guys should just like go in the shower for the closing scene and like scrub each other down as a joke, and we just kind of like played along with it and made it this awful thing that was a lot of fun. But yeah, sorry for anyone's comments that I'm missing. It's because I was just reading from the Q&A, but now I'm back on the main thing. Continuity is so important during dailies at Bevo. That's a lot of work. Exactly. I mean, I'm very happy that continuity is not my job. It falls to the script super, but I definitely support them in that role by keeping a log of all the shots and then like being able to scrub to and from if they ask me for something. And it's cool too because sometimes the actors will come up to you directly and be like, can I watch that take back, or what did I do in this scene, or how was I wearing my jacket, or something like that. John said, hey Brennan, nice to find your channel. I know you from Dan Bell. I've sort of the same interests as you. That's awesome. I'm very happy to hear that, John, because like I said, I'm a video game nerd. I'm a board game nerd. A lot of that is reflected on this channel because I kind of combine video games, programming and stuff all together with AI, trying to program some better AI bots. Like I said, we have like these characters, like here, I'll pop up Guy Fieri here when I did my cooking stream, which is on my channel. The full live stream's on my channel, as well as the edited video. Oh God, I'm just seeing my bags under my eyes. But we had Guy Fieri here. He would move around and talk to you and like butcher your recipes if you asked him like, how do I make a pierogi, or how would I make this? What ingredients should I add? We gave him he gave us a lot of input that led to some horrible disasters that my stomach still regretted weeks later. But we've had some other unique characters that you guys like. I think the first one was Teddy the trivia bear who had rabies. They all developed their own weird personalities. Then we had Indiana Drugs was our most recent one, where we got the AI that could try and do an escape room, and Indiana Drugs barely made it out of the escape room with his life. That stream is still up, or it's on my channel as well. I'm trying to think of what else we did. There's some other, if you guys remember some of your other favorite AI, we've done, Pajama Sam. We did AI Pajama Sam to try and beat the Pajama Sam kids game. Like if you guys ever watched Doug like that. But time to change your name to Brennan Evo. I mean, it is on all my socials pretty much. It's Brennan Evo, but my full name is Brennan Evangelista. You ever watch stealth gaming content like Steve Wallace? I really like, I mean, I haven't watched his content in a while, but I really enjoy Steve Wallace's content, and I have a stealth camping spot that I'm going to drive out to very soon to see how strong the internet signal is out there, and if it's strong enough, I want to do like a couple hour live stream, just like chilling by my fire, cooking some meals and stuff, and showing you guys the best stealth camping spot in the world. It has a great view of the lake, and it overlooks a cliff, and it's very secluded and has a lot of stars, and you can actually on the right night see the Milky Way galaxy. The angry rapid Teddy Freddy magical grizzly bear was hilarious. Holly, I'm glad you liked that stream. That was actually the very first stream on this channel, and I had no idea how that was gonna go or how it was gonna play out, but I'm so happy that that it ended up being a very successful stream, and people were jumping in, having a lot of fun. I also want to get back to, we did semi-blind Mario Kart at one point, where the comments, if you commented in the chat, it would pop up somewhere on my screen, and it would like distract me while I was trying to drive. Mick Hater, greetings from England. Have you moved on completely from Uncharted Travel? No, I'm still working on Uncharted Travel. I actually just got back from a road trip with Dan Bell, and I filmed some interesting stuff that I hope to get out and editing soon. I've just taken a little bit of a break from it because I've been trying to get this channel started and get it off the ground, because like I want to do a lot of personal projects here. But I'm still looking to do Uncharted Travel. I've tried to do Alone episode 6. I've tried twice and failed twice. I'm hoping the third time's the charm. I have the location in mind. It's just a matter of me getting out there, because it is quite the trek away. But I'm definitely not abandoning Uncharted Travel. It's very hard at times for me to get out and film something that I believe is like worthy of that channel, because I always get very self-conscious when I put a video out. If the location's good enough, if the footage is good enough, if the filming's good enough, I need to just like get over that hurdle and just start uploading. And I think this channel is kind of like the creative outlet that I need to sort of get back to uploading regularly on Uncharted Travel, because this channel I can just throw out everything, and I'm hoping you guys like it, and I'll just kind of like, if I like something, I'm not really worried if it does well or if it does poorly. I'm just gonna have fun with it, and I'm hoping that you guys have fun with it too. Fury the Woo, I guess he kind of does look like Adam there. But Samantha died. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was that was with the I don't know if that was the AI, but I think that was with the liminal space episode, which I do want to do some more liminal space and exploration games. I feel you guys really did like the pool rooms game that we played. But yeah, that was a lot of fun there. Let me see if we got a couple more questions in the AMA section here. So just reading at the live chat. Did you find the rabies.exe file yet? Afflat says. No, I have not. And I don't know why. Sometimes it'll come back and haunt me. Like some of the other AIs will say they have rabies or whatever, and I'll be like, oh god, is my AI bot just like infected with rabies now, and every character is gonna play onto this like sort of role. But thankfully, Indiana Drugs didn't have rabies. He just was addicted to drugs, which I don't know if that's better or worse, but it made for definitely a funny scenario. And I mean, I don't even like really do too much coding into their personalities. I usually just say like, create your own personality and lean heavy into it. And so whatever jokes we make or whatever jokes they make at the start, they kind of just snowball and get worse and worse and worse. But yeah, Hank, I'm glad you like liminal spaces. Mick Adder said, I saw you dabble in gaming a bit. This new free game that is a cross-platform looks good, called Off the Grid. I've actually heard about that. I'm gonna write it down again. And because I've been looking on like TikTok, and I've been looking on like Instagram Reels, trying to find some good games to play. For the month of October, I want to focus a little bit more on like horror-related games, because I feel like just getting into the spooky season, we all got to get with it and get into it. You know, it's my favorite season of the year. But Indiana Stoned. Exactly, Afflat. I like that name better than Indiana Drugs. But yeah, I definitely want to get into some like creative and fun games. I really like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen or heard of like the RPG Maker genre, but it's basically, if you ever watched PewDiePie back in his heyday, he played a lot of those, like they're like story-based, very interesting and light and easy to digest sort of games. And I want to do a series playing through some of those. I also want to play through, I love all the Legend of Zeldas, starting with the N64 ones. Play through those at some time. I do have an emulator on here, and I do have a ton of really fun Nintendo games that I've been looking to play. Pre-Game Award era. Yeah, before the days where you could look up on the internet the guides and stuff, you had to like ask your friends at recess how to get past a certain boss or a certain area. The Grid 2000 arcade game. Any chance you could turn down the background music just a little bit? Yes, of course. Sorry, I didn't know it was so loud. That's my bad. There we go. Hopefully should be good there. But I don't want to drag this stream out too long. It was just supposed to be like a quick 2-hour-ish stream. Usually when I'm doing like gaming and stuff, I stream for about 3 to 4 hours is like my goal. And I'm hoping to get a bit of a longer stream on Thursday for you guys, so we can have some fun. You guys can see me gaming, but I didn't want to just jump straight from the Dan Bell streams into a gaming stream, because I feel like a lot of the people, or like a gaming or interactive stream, because I feel like a lot of the people would be like, what the heck's going on? Like, we came here from Saturdays with Dan and we watched all your like driving around with Dan in the car. This is a complete 180. I kind of am using this as sort of like a cushion to let everyone know what I intend to do. I like to do on this channel, I want to do like IRL stuff. Don't get me wrong, I still want to do Q&As and face-to-face like this, but I like doing IRL stuff like cooking streams, stuff like that. A little bit of gaming, a little bit of fun gaming or creative gaming with like AI or YouTube chat involved. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff down the road. Dave Gentry, you're such a nice stand-up guy. Do a video of you reacting to assholes. Show us your skills of remaining nice, calm, and civil in the face of adversity. I'd watch and take notes. Oh my god, I should stream you guys when I'm out at a hockey game, or I'm out at playing one of my hockey games. It gets really bad. I'm like today was a bit different because they were getting really aggressive, but usually I'm like the voice of reason, trying to calm down everyone on the bench, because they'll get like, sometimes people will get like heated. I'm like, it's okay guys, just calm down, it's fine. We'll get our heads in the game, we'll get going with the next one. And like the other team will be like screaming at us, or like some guys on our team will be like screaming at them. But I feel like, I don't know, You just got to be patient. You got to be happy. You got to be, I don't know, just spread kindness, you know? Donkey Kong Nintendo 64 2 and 3. I love Donkey Kong Country 64. That is one of the classics. My first ever gaming console was a Super Nintendo, but I was way too young to play it. It was actually my dad's. But I think when I was like 10 or so, my cousin gifted us his Nintendo 64. Maybe younger, maybe when I was like 8. He gifted us a Nintendo 64 with Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong Country, Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, Super Smash Bros, the original Mario Kart, James Bond GoldenEye, all those classics, and I just fell in love. But the funny thing is, I wasn't even like the gamer of our family. I would sit back and watch my sister beat those campaigns because I was so bad and so young, and she was like the elite gamer of the two of us. So, but I definitely want to try my hand because I've always been like the couch co-op partner for my sister. I want to try my hand actually going through and beating the games on my own on stream and doing some fun challenges along the way for you guys. I definitely want to bring back the cursed food sandwich challenge. We'll probably find some other way to loop that in. We could do a volume test, but I feel like there's many other ways, like maybe on a death or something, or on a failure, I get a cursed food that one of the chefs will bring me along. But I've never played Doom 64. I've never played Doom. That is one that, and I've heard really good things about the new Doom too, but that is one of the games that I definitely want to get into. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was like, that was like my childhood too. I still have such like deep nostalgia for that game. It was like a magical experience. I think Ocarina of Time, Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube, The Last of Us 1, and Uncharted are like my top 4 games of all time. No particular order, but I love those games to death, and I like played them to death. But to give you a perspective of how little a gamer I was, Luigi's Mansion was the first ever game where I beat from start to finish by myself. All the other times I either got my sister to help me or I just watched her beat the games. Thanks, Dave. I'm glad you liked the reply. This is me, you know, a little bit awkward, a little bit fun, a little bit happy, but I'm just happy that everyone's here, you know? And I'm hoping that throughout the years that we progress this channel, because yes, I do have long-term plans for this channel. I get a little bit better at hosting, get a little bit better at because I've been doing a lot of like R&D on like what makes a good stream, and just kind of like trying to emulate some of the popular streamers or good streamers that I like to watch. Like I've been watching a lot of Ludwig, a lot of Atrioc, Doug. Those are definitely the core 3 that I feel like I get inspiration from. But yeah, I wanna work on a lot of things, show you guys a lot of things, and build this community together with you guys. I want this to be like a fun place for us all to hang out and sort of like chat, and hope you guys feel comfortable here, you know? Happy that so many of you guys came out tonight, and I'll look over the Q&A section real quick if there's any last minute Q&As, and I feel like this is probably a good spot to wrap things up. We have one from Afflat saying, I know you're a Mario fan, but you should do a classic Sonic the Hedgehog speedrun. I did. What was it? It was the Sega Genesis. I played the original Sonic game, and I played through it, and I have a deep love for the level Casino Night. I did like, what was the one in the plains? It was like Grassy Plains or something. But Casino Night was just such a vibe, if you know which game I'm talking about. But I would definitely enjoy playing through Sonic. If you guys do have suggestions, feel free to let me know. You can suggest, maybe I'll make a suggestions channel in the Discord, or you can just send it in general chat, which our Discord link is in the description below, by the way. If you do have and use Discord, if you want to make suggestions for any streams, any games, I'm all ears, and I'm always actively looking through those channels and checking and chatting on there. John Doe says, how did you and Dan meet? And I'll use this will be the last question I answer of the night, because I feel like this is a good way to round it off. But funny enough, Dan and I actually met through Jake. So Jake, if you don't know, he owns the channel Bright Sun Films, and he's been a longtime friend of mine. we met through the mutual interest of urban exploring, and I think his channel was maybe at around 80,000 subscribers when we first started hanging out. But he told me in 2016, he's like, hey, I'm going down to Detroit, and I'm meeting up with an online friend named Dan and his two friends, Rick and Will, and I'd love for you to come along if you want, because I know you're starting out your Urbex channel, and we've been shooting Urbex for a long time, and I'd feel more comfortable if you exactly, Lex, what's up, guys? Jake, that's the one. But he's like, I feel more comfortable if you came down with me. So I said, sure, I'm down. I'm Detroit, there's tons of abandoned stuff down there. I've seen like so many videos. It's like at the time it was like the holy grail of urban exploring. So it was summer of 2016. We drove on down and we pull up to our hotel, and I see this man, Dan. He's standing out front under a bright light, and we got in probably around like 11 o'clock, so it was pretty dark out, but he was standing there smoking a cigarette. And the whole way up, I had never had a conversation with Dan before. I had never met the man. He's never seen me. I'd never seen him. But I was just joking to Jake. I was like, I'm gonna call him Dad, and I'm gonna make him call me son. And he's like, please don't do that. Like, Jake was very nervous about meeting Dan. He's like, he's very serious. He's gonna hate us. Like, we need to make a good impression. And so we pull up, and Dan's out front, and I pull up, roll down my driver's side window, and I look over, and he looks at me, and he's like, oh, hey guys. And the first thing I say to him, I'm like, is it okay if I call you Dad? And then he just looks at me, like, kind of, his jaw kind of like drops, because like I guess he was caught completely off guard by that, and like I didn't even know why I said it. But his next response, he just leans in and he's like, fuck off. And then I just drive and park our car, and I started dying laughing. And Jake was so nervous. He's like, Dan's gonna be pissed at us now. Why'd you say that? And I was like, oh, come on. He seemed like he was like having fun with it. But yeah, then through that trip, we became really good friends. And really just a really fun experience going to abandoned places with all of them. And we just got really close. We all bonded. And then it was my second year of university that I got a call from Dan asking me if I wanted to do the show. And then that's how I started ADR. And then the rest is history. I started traveling with Dan a lot, and then we just grew closer and closer. And now we call, I'd say, at least every other week or so. I'm on the phone with him. Even when I wasn't like posting online a lot, he would always call me, check in on me. I'd check in on him. So yeah, he's been a very good friend, and he's a very good person, very nice guy. I'm glad you like that story. Sounds like you got a games and food channel. It's kind of a mixture of everything. Yeah, it's games. I want to do some like IRL stuff. Like I want to do some stealth camping, some hiking. For one of my video ideas, I want to walk from my house down to Toronto or Whitby, which it's a 24-hour straight walk. So I'm thinking of breaking it up over 3 days and like camping in different spots or staying overnight in some random spots. But I feel like that could be a fun idea. I'm full of fun ideas, and I'd love to share them with you all. And to everyone who joined me tonight, thank you so much for coming out to the Q&A and just showing up and showing your support. I love seeing you all. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. If you would find it in your heart, maybe drop us a like if you haven't already. It helps me out with the algorithm, and it helps grow this community. Share the video with your friends if you want. Let's grow this community together. This is a team effort. I'm here for every single one of you guys, and I'm glad that all you guys are here for me and want to see me goof off. But I love you all. Have a good night, everyone, or good morning wherever you are, and I hope you have a great evening. I'll see you all Thursday. I'll be streaming again this Thursday. We'll dive into a little bit more of some gaming or some fun stuff. Have a good night, everyone.